Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever and however you are listening, and welcome back to the Valley Life Podcast. Today, we'll continue in our series, Seasoned with Salt, with author Laura Lapp.
Hey, I've got a story for you. Alicia Keys is a great R&B singer. She has a powerful voice. She writes her own songs and she plays the piano. I'm crazy about her. In one of her songs, entitled If I Ain't Got You, she sings, "Some people want it all. Some people want everything. Some people live for the fame. And some people live for power. Some people live just to simply play the game of life." And I'm wondering today, what is it you live for? This story is simply called, Why Are We All Different? And the verse is 1 Peter 4:10. As each one has received a gift, minister to one another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. It has been many years since I went ice skating. As a young child, I would go to the lake near my home. I would step bravely onto the frozen pool of water and begin to glide and turn. Sometimes I pretended that I was a princess who could dance magically and beautifully across the ice. And once I was actually so caught up in my imagination that I truly believed that I could jump high in the sky on my skates and land as light as a feather onto the ice. So to prepare for my jump, I began to skate faster and faster. I flung myself with great gusto into the frosty air as high as I could and promptly fell flat on my back as I landed on the ice. I was sore for days. I was also very embarrassed. I was not a magical princess who could skate perfectly. I was a little girl with very limited skating experience. I was trying to do something that I wasn't meant to do. I do not have the ability or the talent for professional skating. Well, one day as an adult, I went back to that lake. I chose to sit on the side and observe the skaters rather than participate. The circle of ice was very smooth and frosty and very cold. Some of the skaters came one by one onto the ice, and in a few minutes the lake was full of people, young and old, skating or attempting to skate on the ice. Let me describe what I saw on the ice that day. Close to the edge of the lake stood a very little boy with his mother. He had a large helmet on his head as protection in case he fell, and he held very tightly to a training cart that helped to keep him from falling as he skated. The little boy would slide and fall, but he never gave up. He was very determined to learn to skate. In the center of the ice stood a tall, slender man in a very tight black costume. He skated perfectly, with many fancy steps. He practiced each step again and again. He looked like a professional skater. A group of boys plowed through the crowd of skaters, skating as fast as they could. Surely in their minds they were pretending to be speed skaters or perhaps policemen chasing after robbers. I saw a young woman skating backwards very gracefully, and then forwards, and then backwards, smiling every now and then to her companion. Two men were skating side by side, talking very fast. Perhaps they were discussing important business matters. A very chubby man was moving slowly along the edge of the ice. He was trying to stay out of everybody's way. He could barely move and seemed to be ready to fall at any moment. I spotted a man and a young girl. I think it was a father and daughter. He was still in his tie and coat, and he must have come on his lunch hour to skate with his daughter. They were playing follow the leader, I imagine, on the ice. As the child followed her father, she would copy all his movements. If he turned, she turned. If he skated backwards, she did also. And then they switched places, and she became the leader, and he faithfully followed her in all her movements. They were laughing and having a wonderful time together. One boy was teaching another boy a new skating step. Two girls were skating hand in hand, talking and laughing. A woman off to the side skated in small circles, over and over and over again. There was even a girl with one leg skating on the ice. She had an artificial leg attached to her thigh, and her other leg was in a brace. She couldn't skate very well, but she would stop often and talk with people. She had a beautiful smile, and she even stopped to encourage someone who had just fallen on the ice. Each skater was very different from the next. No two people skated the same. Each one had their own style. Some could skate fancy. Some could barely stand up. But everyone was determined to skate as best they could. Just like each skater is different, so each person is also very different. Some people are tall and some are short. Some are thin and some are heavy. Some talk eloquently and others draw like an artist. We all look different and we all act different and we all have different talents. We are not all good at sewing. Some cook well, others comfort the sick. Many play musical instruments. All of these things are important and are needed day to day, but we can't all do the same thing. And it's a very good thing that we all have different abilities. 1 Corinthians 12, 4-7 says, "There are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are diversities of activities, but it is the same God who works all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to each one for the profit of all." The Bible is telling us that each person is given a gift by God so that they may use it for good. Have you ever tried to do something you weren't meant to do? I bet it wasn't a success, was it? The Bible shows us why we should not try to copy someone else or try to be something different than we are. 1 Corinthians 12, 15-25 talks about how the human body has many different parts, but it's still one body. The foot does not try to act like the eye. The hand does not try to be a foot. If our body just consisted of an eye and nothing else, how could we hear? Or if our bodies were all ear, how could we smell? The parts of our body all work together. All together they make up a complete person. Just as the many different parts of the body work together in harmony, so people should be different from one another, yet work together. We are so good at comparing ourselves to other people and wanting what they have and the talents that they have, aren't we? We need to keep our eyes off other people and concentrate on the gifts and the abilities that God has given each one of us. So ask yourself this question: what has God made in making you? Do you have the courage to love how God has made you and be what He has made instead of trying to copy someone else? Whatever your gift or your talent, whether it is something usable or at work or at home, whether it is an obvious gift or a very quiet one, our main task is to be a light in a very dark world. Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify God." We have nothing to do with the choice of the gift that God has given us, but we have everything to do with the use of that gift. Are you using your gifts for God? The fact is, we were all created by God to use the gifts that He has given us. This is our job. This is our purpose in life. To use our gifts for God's glory, not for our own glory. What is it you live for?
Thank you for listening to the Valley Life Podcast. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment, and let us know that you're listening. For now, God bless you.